Hello BASD community. I wanted to provide an update at the end of this week and also really focus on some lessons learned from the need to have Miller Heights Elementary School go to remote learning for this week. Miller Heights experienced a number of cases at a small elementary school. We're somewhere between 15 to 20 cases at this point over the first few weeks of school, including cases that we were notified of this week while we were on the remote learning break. And I think a couple of lessons that we've learned. One, children can be even when children don't have symptoms, they can be contagious if they're positive and they're in school. So if we've had kids that were in school several days, several positive kids were in school several positive days, the virus will spread. So one of the lessons is if a child has been exposed to a positive person outside of school that you know of as a parent, even if your child is not showing any symptoms, they need to quarantine, and they should be quarantined during that period until they can be tested. You can talk to your pediatrician about the timelines. So that's one of the lessons. Another lesson that we learned was that we see the spread then through families. So if a student gets infected, in this case, let's say at the elementary school, and now they have siblings at the other schools, East Hills, Freedom in this case, then we can start to see we have the risk of spread to those other buildings. And this is why it's a pandemic. This is how contagious the virus is, and that's how it spreads through a community. So we've seen the ability of the virus to spread. So coming back next week when Miller Heights returns, one of the lessons we've learned and one of the messages I want to get out is that even though we've had this break in transmission, so we would have had 9 days off between the last time everybody was in school and this coming Monday, it's possible, because of the way the virus takes time to work its way through families, that there are children that could still turn up positive. So so one of the lessons is be vigilant about kind of lag cases. If a student has symptoms on Monday, particularly for the Miller Heights community, we want to make sure we don't send those kids to school. If you have any concerns or if they've been exposed to another positive case, because we don't want to reignite the chain of transmission when we step back in the building on Monday. And for all parents and for all of us in the schools, it's a good reminder to do our symptom checks. Be aware. I know that it's a challenge to keep kids home when they have symptoms that pre-pandemic we probably would have sent them to school with. And also the stresses on families and jobs. But the Miller Heights lesson is if we are not as careful as we can be, we'll start to see connections amongst cases, and we'll end up going to remote, and then everybody is impacted for a week or longer depending on the size of the school and the extent of the outbreak. So lessons learned really just reaffirm what we've known. Monitor symptoms. Please don't come to school with symptoms because this virus will spread if people are exposed to it, particularly for several days in a row. We'll learn together, we'll stick together. I appreciate the patience of the Miller Heights parents and the teachers and the staff there to get through this, and the great work of the staff to switch to remote learning so quickly. So we'll stick together through this. Remember, a pandemic is not an individual health crisis, as it's clearly been proven again through the Miller Heights experience. It's a community health crisis. So let's stick together and we'll get through this together. Thank you.